Welcome to The Other Dimension with the team, Damon Penny, Ben Winfield, and Louisa Brown. We guide you through the supernatural, the occult, and the unexplained, answering questions that will make you question your grip of reality, with special guests guiding you through everything from demons to divination, cryptids to crystals, religion to skeptics. We explore in depth the true meaning of the unexplained. So strap in, kick back, and enjoy as we enter the other dimension.
Hello everybody and welcome. It's that time again. It's your Friday night paranormal fix. It's the Other Dimension live. My Damon Penny live with the paranormal power couple, Ben and Lou. Where Ben's is, there he is. My special guest, Jeanette, who's an avid listener of the show and investigating on the channel. That's been really, really good. But before we get to that, we are making moves on the Other Dimension network. We have got a new show starting. Well, it's a trial show on Wednesday. I think Lou's got
The Witch's Closet.
The Witch Closet. That sounds really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that.
With Scarlet Witch.
Oh, it's Scarlet. All right. Okay. Right now I know. See, that I get kept in the dark with most things, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's easier.
It's
you and me both, Jamie. You and me both.
Well, you've been away with work.
I've been away, not with work, but
yeah, you've been playing on game and whatnot.
Yes, I've been very, very busy. I've been a very busy boy. So, guys, if you do want to host a show here on the Other Dimension, we have loads of slots available, and we are getting the Other Dimension network up and running. For people that want to know, check this out. My handiwork. I like it. I have to show it off.
I can't even see you. Come closer. Feels good to put a little bit closer to each other.
So if you do want to have a show here on the Other Dimension, all you have to do is contact myself, Ben or Lou, or just contact the page and we'll sort out a slot for you. All graphics are designed for you. All the payments and that to get you on will all be done by myself. Trust me, it's worth doing. I want to get we as a whole collective want to get a show on every day of the week, so you haven't got nothing to worry about. You can always look into the Other Dimension. But let's get on with tonight's show. We are joined by Jeanette, the #1 Other Dimension paranormal investigator, who's been out investigating on the channel, the new celebrity of the network. How you doing? It's good to have you on.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
That bloody time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said we've been out investigating with Jeanette. We've done like lives and stuff, but we've never actually had her on like the main show to actually like chat to. Felt a bit bad. It's just like we're doing all the stuff with her, but not actually properly talking.
It suited me with going out and doing things.
You're like just hiding in the dark.
Yeah.
It's great to have Jeanette on finally, because that is, do you know what it is? When we're so busy, we just overlook things, and I'll take full responsibility for that because we just do. But Lou comes up with a great idea, so that's what she's there to do. So that's great. She's doing her job. Well done, Luke. I'll start.
Pay me more. Pay me more.
We have some ideas, not great ideas. We have some ideas.
Yeah.
Well, the last mistake you had was getting married to me, wasn't it?
That's not a mistake.
He's like so feel sorry for me.
Full of man flu. You got to feel sorry for me.
Big shouts out to Nico and Emmy. We're going to get to the chat very, very soon. Before we get there, we were going to let Jeanette introduce herself, let you know what she does, what she's up to. You know, Jeanette, introduce yourself. Let the guys know who you are.
Well, I'm a complementary therapist, but obviously I enjoy paranormal and started going out with teams over the last year. Got to know Ben and Lou, and now go out with Lou on a weekend. There's not really a lot to know about me, I don't think. one of the things I'm
Well,
who I am. And
you're hiding some bits. You do have, Jeanette does have some good abilities, which she's trying to like progress on and improve upon and get into touch with a bit more, aren't you?
yeah, things change on a regular basis with me. I go from one sensitivity to another, and it's swap and change. So it's just leveling off as they're changing.
I have to say, Jeanette has this amazing superpower to be able to ask a question and then answer it within the next 2 like messages on Facebook Messenger about you having to say a word. You have to go, there you go, see, you sorted it out yourself. It's brilliant. Like, Jeanette's been on the show as a listener and doing for such a long time. It's great to have her locked in. Just got to do a quick roll call, because we've got a fair few people locked in. Shout out to Emma Rulli, at Natasha Mc78, YouTube kicking off tonight, wicked. Shout out to Nico, at to Kate. Don't forget, Kate's on in not this Sunday, next Sunday with me. And trust me when I say the subjects she's picked are crazy. Still waiting for me to plan. Big shout out to Eric Thompson, who's saying, how do you, great name for a show, hiding in the dark. Yeah, well, the offer's there, mate, if you want to jump on. So I wanted to combine tonight's show with Jeanette being on, because I wanted to get her views on the video that I put up. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but basically, let me explain the way it goes. This guy, he does TikTok videos, and he honestly believes that his house is haunted by this poltergeist, which he believes that is his wife. Now, he's got Ring doorbell and security camera footage of chairs being flung around and cupboards being opened, but the craziest one is the one after the one that I put up, where he actually gets attacked down a hallway. And Joe, you can tell someone's being really genuine because they can't talk. They're just like literally frozen in fear when he's trying to talk about it. And he actually believes that it's now not his wife. I mean, Jeanette, you've been out on investigations before where you thought it was something, but it was like a misidentification.
Yeah. You go out and you think that there's something knocking about, but obviously we go out a lot in the woods and near bushes, so it could be animals. I try and rule all that out before I decide, yes, it is definitely a spirit. I think I've only been really spooked once when I've been out.
I mean, the question that sort of bugs me about it, the reason why I want to talk about it tonight is, why would a spirit hide itself as something else or pretend to be something else and not reveal its true identity from the start? I mean, maybe
perhaps the person knows them.
Yeah, it could be.
It's trying to gain trust.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's trying to get a bit of familiarity, so that the person isn't instantly suspicious about this entity. Like if it was something else completely different and it came on and was just like, oh yeah, I'm whatever spirit from wherever, I'm gonna come here and haunt you, you'd be like, oh no. But if it's saying, I'm the spirit of your deceased wife, I've come back, you're more likely to be welcoming, aren't you? So maybe that could be the case.
He's actually kicking it off by reacting badly at the time. Perhaps it might do him good to actually speak to the spirit.
It might be. I mean, that's what I was looking at. I mean, it also drums up like old feelings of mimics that I've come across in the past. I mean, Ben knows a lot about how mimics sort of pretend to be something demonic to gain that negative energy. It does sort of have that sort of smell about it, that it could be something that's trying to gain more than trust, but more negative energy, because of the way it's sort of
human spirits can do that too, though, because obviously human spirits can feed off the energy produced by a person in a state of fear, which is why sometimes human spirits do pretend to be the devil and Satan and coming for your soul, because they feed off the fear that the human is then emitting.
True. I quite often get told that there's the devil or something bad here, and I just laugh at them now because I know they're trying to wind me up.
She knows.
It's like I will know with my senses if there's something bad in here, and then I'm ringing Ben.
Just a couple of points in the chat room. They were saying, yeah, I was going to say because poltergeist activity is brought on by girls going through puberty. That's Eric Thompson. I don't know whether that's an old wives' tale or not, because not all poltergeists are girls or boys of a teenage age. They are the majority, but they're not all. I mean, I don't know what constitutes to a spirit being able to. Do they have to go and meet the train man like in the film Ghost and learn how to move things? This is another one that I have to. This is complete fallacy. I have to go with this. It says, Selfish Isaiah says, I heard if you know a spirit's name, you can control them. I don't know if it's true. Not necessarily. It's just easy to speak to them. I mean, Ben, you know as well. We've always said this before. We've had demonologists that talk about knowing the demon's name gives you control over the demon. It's a load of rubbish, isn't it?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So it's more of a, Isaiah, if you know the spirit's name, if you have the true spirit's name, it's just easier to contact that spirit. Because imagine if you're in a house or a haunted location with numerous spirits and you want to contact one spirit, the easiest way to do it is to know the name of the spirit that you're contacting.
But like we said, like on the demonic side of things, when we talk about the ranking system, how like you've got one high one and they've got some lesser ones, and sometimes they'll have names, and it's like when you go to work, you're a worker, you've got your manager. If you know like the name of the one who's there haunting you, causing you issues, then you can go up a ladder, go up to their boss to deal with it.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Jeanette, is it easy to get spiritual names when you're out on investigation?
It depends. Like we went last Saturday, I think it's the first time somebody's done that area. When I went out with Riley while Lou were having a cuppa at home. Left us all alone. A long day. But there was all in the trees. There was plenty of spirits around, but they were so reluctant to come forward. So it depends whether they've been interacted with or not. I don't think they've been interacted with that much.
It's like I commented on your video though at the time. Like if you go there a few more times, I feel you'll be able to gain their trust a bit more, and then you'll be a familiar face, and they're more likely to communicate with you. Yeah, but if the spirits are willing to give you the names, then you do generally pick them up. It's just all depending on the spirit, really.
At the end of the day, we won't go out with a team that we don't trust, that aren't going to be there for us like we're there for them. Well, it's the same with spirits. They've got to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
Well, that's my opinion.
I don't know if you guys know about this one. I don't remember this because I have the memory of a goldfish. I would like to know what happened to Peter the teddy bear that was on one of your videos. Have me good vibes. Is he here?
He is. You can just kind of see him sort of over Ben's shoulder there. He's in that basket.
And he's got a little teddy bear with him now.
Yeah.
He said
we're being watched.
Sorry, guys. I was busy watching that video Damon put up.
Joining us.
Do you want me to get a little speaker out, see if it works?
That guy on that video, personally, from what I know about psychology, is lying.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment.
He's not. He never looks at the camera once. He keeps his head down so you can't see the reaction in his eyes.
There we go.
That's
Ben's opinion.
Yeah.
Cool.
From what you've said so far, I don't believe it. I haven't physically watched it yet to know what my senses are.
That tip, knowing that as well, I have to credit my auntie Jo on that because she told me that as a lawyer. If you see people in thought looking down or avoiding the eye contact, looking down or covering the hands over the face and that lot, usually means they're lying.
All right.
But I think, yeah, I don't know.
Jessica.
I reckon he had some activity, but.
There
We've
go.
now got
There he is.
Peter and Domingo. We've got a little Domingo now.
That's a crazy name. Domingo. It's like a
He
Latin.
told me, you know what? I bought him thinking there wasn't a spirit attached. It just pulled me. And when I got home, he told me his name was Domingo. Now, looking that up, apparently it's Spanish, but in Italy, it's a Sunday name. So I've got a religious teddy.
Very nice.
And I don't do nothing anymore.
You can't exactly pull the name Domingo out of anywhere either.
No, it was dead strange. It was like, Domingo, that sounds Spanish. So I went on Google, and it is.
Could do with trying to get his little thing cleaned up.
You're not pulling the next bear apart.
No, I'm just saying cleaned up because I know that stiff bears have a tag in their ear with a marking on.
Do they?
Yeah.
He's got a thing in his belly, but that one's broke.
I can't see it's too thing, but yeah. Creepy.
That's the teddy.
I'll put it to one side.
If you know the living's name, you can't control someone who is alive. So I don't understand why people think you have the name of the dead, you can control no one and nothing. Does that make sense? Completely. 100%. We say it before so many times on the show, and I'm sure that Jeanette and Lou and Ben will agree with me on this. A spirit has the same sort of protocols as the living. They act the same way. They have the same personalities. They just don't have a concept of time because their life is endless. So, yeah. Let's see.
That's what I believe, that you pass away and you're the same as what you was alive. If you're grumpy alive, you're going to be grumpy in death.
Exactly. Everyone's commenting saying there is Peter. Out to Emmy and Nico saying Peter. Domingo. Yes, Domingo is a Spanish name. It also means Sunday. There you go.
Yeah.
Dinero means money. Yeah, but I think it's Domingo. Well, it's great. It's mad though, because like Ben said, you wouldn't just pull the name Domingo out of thin air, wouldn't you?
No, well, I got home and I says to Kev, I've been good because I've got a piano doll as well. I says, I don't know why it pulled me, but I've actually bought something that hasn't got a spirit. And then all of a sudden, Domingo came to mind. And it was like, well, your name's Domingo. And he says, yes. So I thought, well, maybe perhaps there might be something. We haven't investigated him yet.
No, not yet.
I saved that one for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, spirit-wise,
Yeah. I'm all right. I like to stay hidden because I look like a ghost myself.
I got asked a really cool question earlier, and I wanted to see if we can answer it as a collective. I got asked on Facebook chat by one of my friends, if everyone who dies is able to turn into a spirit, why isn't the world completely overpopulated with spirits?
It perhaps is. We're not dead to know. Well, it's there.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of double question. When you think about it, it's a double barrel question, because if you sort of sit there and go, well, every person can be a spirit, so that means that there will be loads of those spirits will go out. But if you accept the fact that the world is not overpopulated by spirits, then you have to accept the fact that there is such thing as reincarnation or another realm or heaven or hell, whatever you want to call it. You have to sort of accept that at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise,
Agree with that.
Yeah, just be bumping into everybody.
Am I allowed to answer this?
You can have an answer. Come on. You're just hiding.
I don't know if I'm allowed to answer questions or not.
Yes.
Go for it.
The best answer to that question, it comes from cultology studies. When you die, it has been recorded that most, if not all people, when they die, they have what's known as a 2-week period, 14 days of sight. So every single person that passes over, you'll notice people will always have a dream about that person coming and saying goodbye.
Uh-huh.
And that's why all spirits eventually move on. It's only those that have something left to tell that remain.
But moved on to where? That's where I come unstuck when he asked me.
That's right. Yeah, that's the question everyone's trying to find the answer to.
I was like, well, it depends on your belief system. Let's put it that way.
There is a hell of a lot, and this is going to sound. The views I'm about to state are not those reflected by the other dimension. They are my personal views. There is more evidence to suggest reincarnation than there is of heaven and hell.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Jessica, she says overpopulated with energy. Energy can be remolded and moved on to a new. True. Yeah. And that would go along the line of reincarnation. And The studies, I think it was Stephen Hawking that saying energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be redirected or changed. It just can't be destroyed.
Yeah.
You just gave Domingo a cool new meaning, as in dollars. I think they're calling him De Niro. No,
No, I think further up the chat, they were discussing like Domingo, and someone said that they thought that Domingo also meant money, but they got it mixed up with De Niro, and that's kind of where it's come from. Don't worry.
Spanish money's pesetas, isn't it? Or it used to be pesetas.
No, the word for money.
Oh, right, okay.
Not the currency.
Dinaro was the Middle Eastern currency.
No, because we're us in East London used to call them potatoes. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Oh, big one here. Let's see if we can answer this one. There was a spirit in my house.
Read it.
There was a
I
spirit
don't like that.
when I was a teenager. It would stroke my hair at night and sit on my bed. I could not see it, but its presence was huge. My sister did something very wrong to me and upset me badly. I asked out loud for her to pay for what she did, and during one night she was thrown around her room. Coincidence? She left home and never come back. She was so scared. Should we let Jeanette see what she thinks about this one?
Just repeat that last little bit. So I return the other way. I've got a problem with my ears.
Right. She said there was a spirit in my house when I was a teenager. It would stroke my hair at night and sit on my bed. I could see it, but I could not see it, but its presence was huge. My sister did something very wrong to me and upset me badly. I asked out loud for her to pay for what she did, and during one night she was thrown around her room. Is that coincidence? She left home and never come back. She was so scared.
I don't know. I suppose they always say what goes around comes around, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was that nasty to her sister and her sister had got so close to the spirit that was visiting her, I suppose it could be plausible that the spirit got payback for her.
Yeah. Or could we have like a role reversal of attachment? So instead of a spirit attaching itself to the living, maybe the living has attached itself to the spirit and is able to, the spirit has become now overprotective of the living. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you going back to that film you watched?
What film?
With the robot. Yeah.
Oh, Megan. Oh, God, that was that was that Chucky meets Barbie. It was proper nuts. I was laughing the whole time. I jumped once, and that was when a dog barked.
I suppose the spirit could attach themselves to a human, that they are that close to them, that they do want to protect them. At the end of the day, we all work with our spirit guides. What's the difference between a spirit guide and a human spirit coming around with us?
Or maybe like if the spirit was feeding off her energy and she could sense how annoyed and angry she was at the sister, and spirit just was feeling protective, felt the emotions, and just went for it.
Also, you have
it's plausible.
Yeah, you have like personalities in life. You have people that are overprotective, people that are like majorly too caring about somebody to the point where they become obsessive, and maybe that's what the spirit was. Maybe it was an obsessive spirit. You know. There's a question for you, Jeanette, from Kate. Do we all have a spirit guide?
I believe so, but we're not all aware that we've got a spirit guide.
Mm-hmm. And not.
What do you think, Ben?
I'm just saying, I think mine gave up.
I would say I think mine shakes her head quite a few times.
And can I just say, on the subject of spirit guides, right? I've got two really funny stories. When I first
Hi, Jane, a second. Hi, Jane.
Sorry. I used to do work for the SNC, the Spiritual Nationalist Church, when I first started mediuming when I was 18. And one time we had a group in and we was doing a circle to meet our spirit guides. And I explained to them, like, you know, once you come round, once the music stops and you come back from the camp, explain to me if you saw your spirit guide or not. Anyway, so we went around the circle, everyone was explaining, you know, we had Indian chiefs and old gypsy girls, and I got to this one guy and he went, I saw a plum tree. And I was like, well, right, okay, you know, explain more. He said, yeah, it's a talking plum tree. I think my spirit guide is a talking plum tree. I was like, oh God, what have I done? And the second story about spirit guides is my brother, who's also, he's an astral projection medium, so he comes out of his body to talk to spirits and so on and so forth. Another show. He met his spirit guide, but his spirit guide always shows up naked, but just wearing socks. True story. Natasha asked, do you think that our ancestors can become our spirit guides?
Yeah.
Apparently, I've got an ancestor as a spirit guide. Because I don't know a lot about my family. Yeah. I'm not sure whether she's a great grandma or who she is, but I've always seen her, and she does actually resemble my family. But I don't know who she is because she won't give me a name.
Well, I mean, spirit guides can be anything. I mean, if we're talking about ancestors, not so much ancestors, but my actual spiritual guide I use when I'm communicating with spirits, is my dad's best friend who passed away when he was 19. And the only reason I know that is because I was going through the loft one day and this picture just popped out and I was like, oh my God, that's Stephen. And Dad went, oh yeah, that's my best. I was like, I talk to him on a regular basis. I'm not crazy, but I talk to him on a regular basis. I swear to you. So yeah, I mean, you have different spirit guides for different things you do. I mean, if you're working within the spirit world, you have a spirit guide. You know, I have demonic guides. I have angelic guides. I've met Ben's demonic guides because they're scary as hell. I mean, we all have many spirit guides. Depends on what you're working with.
I think most of us have got more than one spirit guide. And like you say, it depends what you're doing as to which one you need.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people, I know someone who does Reiki, and she says that she has a different spirit guide for when she does Reiki compared to when she goes out and mediums paranormal investigations. So I suppose your spirit guide.
Your spirit guide. I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, I've done loads of, like, you know, campfires, because you have to go down to a campfire to meet a spirit guide, and I've done loads, and I've had everything from modern spirit guides all the way through to ancient Indian chiefs and warlocks and wizards, and it's crazy what people. I mean, I suppose it depends where your imagination goes. Right, just a couple of questions. Charles Rudd said, 3 nights ago I was sleeping and opened my eyes just in time to see a fist hit my surgery face hard. I got up and cleansed my place good. Was it a real fist or a spiritual fist? I'm guessing because on the show it's a spiritual fist. It's got to be, isn't it? Jessica says, question for Damon. Is it true that looking at yellow is best way to focus on and to start a astro projection? Just something I heard. I've not come across that. I think that sort of goes hand in hand with the whole Montauk project and the conspiracy behind the yellow passport, which was able to project 3D of what the medium was picking up on. Go on, Ben. I know you want to say something.
No, it's right. I'm half dead from this cold. It keeps frying my brain. What's known as the golden circle? I think you read through that book. It's from the Golden Dawn.
Yeah.
You have multiple symbols with multiple colours to them, and yeah. So yeah, that is kind of true with the golden circle.
The golden circle, the different symbols and colours that are associated are very close to the chakra colours as well that they use during chakra mantras and Reiki and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Montauk project took a lot of stuff from the Golden Dawn.
Yeah,
of different abilities.
Yeah, I mean, the golden passport, or the yellow passport, they say was able to project these 3D images, which they were using the young mediums to do. They're saying it wasn't actually a square bit of paper; it was a yellow circle that was able to project it as well. So that does make it crazy. Emmy really says, last night I've been initiated at Reiki Usui. And while my master was initiating me, a disconnected radio with no batteries turned on. Was Jeanette, you do Reiki. What's Reiki Usui?
Usui.
That's the one. What's that?
I just like Damon keep trying.
I was enjoying Damon trying.
Yeah.
It took me
Yeah,
ages.
I'm trained in Usui system.
Is it
There
like,
is other Reiki about now, but I don't really know much about that. But I'm traditional.
is that like an older Reiki more than a newer Reiki?
Yeah, it's a traditional Reiki that started many moons ago. There's one out now that uses the earth and the trees and everything around them, whereas obviously we use any energy that's around us when we're doing treatments, and colours. Obviously, if we're aware there's a problem with somebody, we can bring in extra colour to that area that's affected. Again, back to your chakras, your 7 chakras.
Oh, okay.
Unblock the energy.
Big shout out to Emma after finishing work. Welcome along. Question for you, Jeanette. When did Jeanette realise she was gifted? From Kate.
When I was very young, but kept quiet about it till about 2 years ago. And then it all went crazy. And I called Ben and Lou.
It's crazy how everyone follows the same sort of path when you talk about noticing their gifts. Because I had, I'm in the same boat. I had an experience when I was 4 or 5 years old, kept it quiet until I found a paranormal out with them. And then I decided to sort of work on my gift. I think when you're younger, when these things happen, you just don't realize it. You just think you've got like some sort of overactive imagination, or you're going crazy or something. But I suppose that's what society makes you want to believe.
I thought I'd actually switched it off. I thought I'd put a block there and no, I'm not dealing with anything. Never clicked that over the years that messages were still coming through. I just carried on. But same as say when I decided, right, I'm going back into it 2 years ago, things just went overboard. Everybody came in from everywhere. So, and sent me on a bit of a wobble.
Big shout out to Essex Ghost Hunters. How you doing, Russ? Big shout out to Irene. It's better late than never. I mean, I don't know. I want to hear Jeanette's experience as well with Ben and Lou, their experiences growing up with it. But I mean, to me, when it first happened to me, it wasn't a shock from what I was seeing. It was almost like I was supposed to see it. I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, Jeanette.
Yeah, when I was younger in bed, I used to share a bedroom with 2 of my sisters. Mm-hmm. And because my dad worked on TVs, we're lucky to have a TV in his bedroom. And I used to see people walk across and end up bed in front of the TV. But I never said a word to anybody. But then again, I wasn't in a family where you could discuss things. So I let them get on with it. But then we had a figure on the staircase. I was told that it was really bad. And in the end, they had to get the church involved to have that spirit removed. But looking back now, I'm unsure that it was a bad spirit. I actually think the spirit was there watching over us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. I don't always see things as bad now.
No, I mean, I agree. I've had so many times, I think Ben and Lou will agree with me on this one. I've had so many times where I've had dangerous spirits in a house and I've asked for the church to intervene, and they tell me that they don't believe in spirits. You know, they have a part, they stay and then they pass and they don't like to intervene. I mean, it's quite hypocritical when you think about the prayer that they do every night when they say to the Father, Son and the Holy Spirit, and you think to yourself, they say, oh, we don't intervene with spirits because we don't think they exist. I just find that extremely hypocritical. So it's quite rare that they come out and dealt with that case for you, Jeanette.
Yeah, it was one of those where I was always aware it was there. I would never walk up and downstairs without the light being on. But I actually fractured my arm at the top of the stairs. And we used to have a heater at the top of the stairs and we had a house fire. Luckily, none of us was injured. But I'm not sure which church they got in touch with, because obviously we weren't allowed to be at home whenever they did the clearing. But looking back now, for years I always thought it was a bad spirit. But I think it was there. There was a reason I fractured my arm, which I won't go into, but it was a better place that happened afterwards. But then I ended up back in the home. So life experiences.
Yeah, and I think it's our experiences and our path that's been laid after us that we learn from to be able to deal with the path that's in front of us.
Yeah, I know that I've got pretty good spirit guides with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in it. So, someone looks over, don't they?
Is he still there? He's there, isn't he? He's there in spirit.
Is he?
He's here off sleep.
I am still there. Well, like every time I put the camera on me, it just turns out pale and gone.
Ben, what do you think about all this? Because
Yeah.
I mean, me and you have had times before when we've asked for interventions from the church with dealing with like negative spirits and stuff like that, and they've said that they don't believe in it. What do you believe? Why do you reckon they don't want to get involved in stuff like that?
Truthfully, I don't know because I've never had any intervention from the church. I've always been at war. Always. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of truth here from my own personal life. At a young age, and Em will know about this. When we was at school in Cherry Tree, we used to have to go to the church down the road. And they decided that I wasn't a good church goer. And we won't go into any more details on that, but obviously traumatizing a child is not a good idea, especially when it turns out that it has this sort of involvement with other things.
Yeah.
But they are very hypocritical when it comes to they don't believe in spirits, even though their main thing is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll only help you if you're willing to go and put your arse in a chair on a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. And put money
This is why people like us and yourself as well, we all exist outside of the church because we are happy to help. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I was a big church goer when I was young. I was at Sunday school every week, but just left the church when I became a teenager. Felt so let down.
Christ, I know the Bible back to front from to back. Also, to show you how really bad I have been, the Bible makes brilliant rolling paper for fags.
Anyway, we get taken off.
That is
Ben's filter is broken right now.
and we don't share that opinion here on the other dimension.
That is my own personal belief and my own personal use.
Like that book.
I mean, at the end of the day, when we're talking about religion and spiritualism, they are two different things. You look at the grimoires that were written years before the Bible, like they explain stuff like that's beyond religion. So you just got to look at history itself to understand that, you know, the creation of heaven and hell was from the church. The creation of evil was from the church. Evil is a human concept and stuff like this. When you start looking beyond the Judeo-Christian views that are given and sort of subpoenaed onto our brains from growing up, then you might actually sort of start thinking outside the box and believe that there is another dimension. Hey!
Bless him. So impressed with himself there.
I am straight off.
That was a good pun.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, off the bonce as well. I was trying to explain to Ems at the weekend that where I'm from, we don't call it a head, we call it a bonce, and she was just like, "That's stupid."
Yeah, some areas around here call it a bonce as well.
It's an Australian word. I don't know why we use it here in East London, but it's an Australian word.
Stick it on your noggin.
Noggin.
Yeah, and noggin.
Oh God, I hate that word. It sounds like a contract.
Or you conk.
You conk.
Oh yeah, I like that one. Right on the conk. I'm using that. See if we can get trending in Essex. Don't forget, guys, if you do have any questions for Jeanette, stick it up there in the chat. We will get through to them. I mean, you've been doing a lot of investigations with other teams, and you've been going out with Lou on your own. What have you sort of learned investigation wise, like the do's and the don'ts of investigating, Jeanette?
Obviously, I understand that when we go out live, we have to use some equipment so that viewers that aren't sensitive like us can see that there is possibly spirits around. But I prefer to go out and use my senses and to know if there's somebody around. But at the end of the day, it's down to viewers whether they believe my senses work and I can sense what's there. So there's give and take on it. I prefer not to use equipment, but I do use it for the viewers to know what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
You don't like people disrespecting the spirits.
I don't like people.
That gets you so wound
That really
up.
winds me up when they disrespect the spirits. Yeah. Sorry, when somebody turns around and here I go. When somebody turns around and says, "Right, I'm not speaking to you unless you flash that ball," I'm afraid I'd walk. The spirit's just like us. I'd say, "Well, buggy then," and walk off, and that's what the spirit's going to do.
Yeah. 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 I also think
that's not the way to get a reaction from a spirit.
No, I think sometimes investigators can be a bit patronising as well. Do you know, like sort of when they turn investigation, they sort of go, "We're not here to hurt you. We just want to communicate." Well, if we're talking to a spirit that used to be a human, I'm pretty sure they can work out that that's what you're here for. You don't have to patronise them, or in America, as they call it, patronise them.
Exactly.
When they talk to them like they're all in like they're all children, when they could be like growing adults.
90-year-old man.
Yeah, that's something else. Yeah.
Just a comment from Kate here. She says, "Not sure if you guys know this, but in Germany you have to pay church tax if you want to go to the church and are religious. Depends on the region, but it can be anything between 8 to 10% of your total wages." I did not. That is nuts.
That is crazy.
Same in Italy as well.
Actually, isn't there somewhere in America certain religions you've got to pay towards and that?
Oh yeah, I know about them. Like
evangelicals.
Yeah, that's in America. Just like Mediterranean. Oh no, that's not. Sorry, I'm just having a little comment.
In Vatican City, you have to pay a tax. I know that towards the church, but also if you look at Muslim religion, well, I might be wrong here, Ben. You can sort of back me up here. In Muslim religion, you have to do a certain amount of charitable things to be able to be accepted within the role as a Muslim. It's like, but it's not so much paying. You have to give back to the community and back to the mosque.
True Muslims are very charitable. For them to be fully accepted into the Muslim faith, they have to take a pilgrimage to Mecca, which is, I've never been, but a friend of mine's been and showed me the photos. It is a beautiful place.
Yeah,
very beautiful. But yeah, there's a lot of religions that demand, shall we say, more money than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Kate's saying no, Italy's free. Oh, that's changed.
Well, Vatican is its own country.
Yeah, the Vatican. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You have to pay a tax there in Rome. You have to pay a day tax every day there.
Vatican City is the second smallest country in the world.
It has the world's biggest crime rate as well.
Yes. That was my next bit. You stole it.
Sorry, buddy.
I was just showing that I actually pay attention when you say these things.
I was going to say something else, but that would definitely get us barred.
Yeah,
so I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
No. You be a good boy.
In America,
Yeah,
in America, the Worldwide Church of God is 20% of your total earnings. What? Why?
Stupid.
This is the question, though. Why? Why? That's the one that gets me. Why would you do such a thing? If you're a religion and it's all based on belief in God, belief in prophets, belief in where you should be able to make your own choice in whether you give money to a religion or not, or whether you choose to be charitable to a religion. It shouldn't be something that should be automatically deemed in the writings and the tablets. You know, like the 11th commandment: "Thou shalt pay 20% of their total wages." Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's anything. It's like when you play these games on Facebook. You pay to win, don't you?
Yeah, to a degree. I'm one of them stubborn people, though. I will like literally spend hours grinding just to get what I've got to get to, just so I don't have to pay.
Yeah, Jane said exactly what I was trying to say.
People believe they are buying their salvation.
Yeah.
So basically buying their ticket into heaven.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's like,
As my grandma says, that's the problem with the Catholic religion. She says you can do whatever you want in life as long as you repent on your deathbed, you're clear.
yeah. So you could just be like,
I'm not having a go at anyone that's Catholic, by the way. I'm just having a go at the organisation.
Yeah,
but you find that in quite a few churches. A friend of mine, they'd had somebody that had done something seriously bad, and people wasn't keen on them going back to the church.
Yeah.
But because they'd repented their sins, they was allowed back within the community of the church, and nobody was impressed.
That's what I plan on my last day. I'm going to repent in every single religion going.
Couple of doses.
Or 4,800. I'm going to repent in every single religion going.
So when you're on your deathbed, how long are you actually planning on being on your deathbed for to do this?
He's going to book a week in.
I'm going to plan it 2 weeks in advance.
2 weeks. 20 years.
Ben, you've got 10 minutes to live. Fetch me an old priest and a young priest.
That's a different kind of way out. They'll be exercising my body just to try and get me to die.
I've just come to the conclusion that I'm probably just going to just wander the ice giant realm and just be cold for the rest of my life. That sounds like heaven, by the way, because I hate the heat. So, yeah, I'm cool.
Oh, my luck, I'm going to be the only bugger left standing. But doomsday, I'll be still here. That's a point, actually. I want to put that out to people. Got a question I've been thinking of asking for a long time. I used to ask this students. So, immortality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a blessing or a curse?
It's definitely 100% in my eyes a curse. 100%.
I go for curse.
Yeah, I'd say curse.
For this reason and this reason alone, I say it was a curse, right? If you look at religious texts and you look at the writings of everybody that's come before, like philosophers like Plato and Socrates and people like that, they believe that Earth is a test and we're put here to see how well we are as humans. Now, giving us eternal life on this Earth would be a curse in the sense of you'd be constantly tested for the rest of your life. And not only that, growing old and seeing people you care about and people that you love just die, and you're literally left. It's a curse because you're left on your own. You know,
when you look back in Greek mythology, any other mythology, it is seen as a curse.
And you got to work for longer.
There is two types of immortality that are spoken about, though.
Yeah, there's the immortality in the human form and immortality in your energy being reincarnated and rebirthed over and over and over and over again. But you retain.
Remember that every single time.
Yeah, you retain the same memories and ideas that you had from your previous life and move them over to your next life.
Yeah, I've always asked my students, because everyone at first would always be like, "Oh, it's a blessing." Well, then when you start to describe it, people sort of go, "Oh, okay." But I've always wanted to ask the show, or ask people's opinion.
The only way it would be made better is if that I got blessed with immortality and a six-pack for the rest of my life. Then I would just be happy with that.
Bless your immortality, we'll probably carrying around a six-pack of Stella.
No, whatever. Nico's
Whatever.
saying, I think on the long run, maybe a curse. Natasha saying in human form a curse. Emily saying curse. Kate saying for those who are terrified of dying, it would be a blessing never to face that fate.
Yeah.
But sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. You have to meet your maker to find out what you're made of, I suppose. Jessica, when you find your soulmate, you may travel through your immortality blessed, but to be important alone is the heaviest curse to bear. Wow. We've spawned a chat room full of philosophers all of a sudden.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the Chinese proverbs to come out. You know, be like water. I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically speaking, if we look at it from the sense of what we've been talking about tonight, immortality happens because you have spirits that still roam the earth, and they contain the same presidents, their same personality. So it is sort of immortality in itself, just on a separate realm or separate dimension, on another dimension. Hey, done it again. What? It's got to be done.
And if you would like David to stop with these bad puns, you can sponsor him £2 a month.
Sponsor us.
Or if you want to come to his your birthday party or anything like that, it's cheap.
Available.
A 6-pack.
Yeah, 6-pack of Stella, and he's there.
Don't go to a birthday celebration. I won't remember you.
Casey saying, I feel very blessed if I can make it to at least 80 years old. I think I'm in the same boat. 79, I'll be happy.
Make it to next week.
I've just signed up for a long life with you.
Oh yeah, well you get all insurance now, so you're fine.
No, at least on the honeymoon.
Okay.
Jessica, can I give a £6 upfront prepayment? Cheers, Jess. Thanks a lot. I try really hard and I just get shot down all the time. It's just not good. I feel bullied. I mean, the spiritual world, if you look at it, it's unexplainable to people that don't know what's going on. But at the same time, for people like us, me, you, Ben, Jeanette, we know what's going on. So the question that I'm trying to get to is, are we scared of death, knowing what's on the other side?
I think we're all a bit dubious of how we're going to die.
Yeah.
Rather than dying, will it be painful or anything like that? I think that crosses anybody's mind.
It's a process of dying. Scared of.
But I think it's just the end bits. Once you're over the other side, you either pass over to wherever you go, or you're knocking about the spirits.
But knocking about a
spirit. Yeah, knocking about a spirit. But that's why I like the way that, obviously, if we come across spirits that want to move on, you can hopefully help them move on. But normally they only want to move on when they've finished whatever it is they want to finish here, if you know what I mean. If they've got a message. Some are stuck because they want to pass that message on.
I mean, I know this is going to sound like really, really stupid because I'm very, very good at stupid comments. But if you're old and you struggle with stairs and opening doors, and like, passing would be a blessing because you wouldn't have to go up the stairs anymore or open doors, just go straight through them.
Live in a bungalow.
Yes, you could move out.
Yeah.
You could put a portal in your front room.
Stair lift.
I'm not getting a standard stair lift. No way. That's like, nah, it's not happening. I'd rather just deal with the knee pain.
I'd love a stair lift. A fast one.
Any stair lift sponsors, message the show.
And it goes so slow, and the people will pass you on the stairs, like because you're going up. So
no,
slow.
I'd have to have a fast one.
So it just stops at the end. And you just go,
Fly off at the end.
Straight out the window. Kate saying, I think what is scary is that there's possibility of nothing, darkness for all eternity, but then you wouldn't know and time wouldn't exist. Seriously, is everyone's like, just I don't know a bit about other been watching a show for too long, or they've been reading books behind our back, because there's a lot of philosophers in the chat room tonight. There's a lot of them. Annette saying, I've been out of body, I know what is there, I have no fear of that. It's the way you exit that bothers me. Yeah, I don't think I want to drown or burn.
No,
I don't think either.
Peacefully in sleep. That'll do.
I'd like peacefully in my sleep. I've got a fear of drowning, burning, and being buried alive. So I'm wondering if I've been through all three in my past lives.
Bad as it sounds, burning is a good way to go.
No thanks.
No thanks.
They've done studies of people, NDEs, near-death experiences, and people that have drowned said it's like taking ecstasy. But then it puts the question in: how many times have these people taken ecstasy to be able to compare it?
Yeah, it's like burning. You pass out before you burn because the heat and the oxygen.
Most
Still
people,
say no.
most people die from smoke inhalation rather than burning, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't want to go like that.
I wouldn't like to test the theory.
No. Hang on, got us all wonky here.
The only other way, the worst way of dying, is the Bushido way. They kill you with 1,000 cuts, don't they?
Yeah. True Bushido way is a good way of going. Blade into the gut, someone chops your head off.
Nice.
That's if they failed in battle, though, didn't they? They lean on their on their.
The worst way to go is the Persian execution way. If anyone remembers the show I did on like the worst execution ways you could possibly die.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I didn't sleep for a week.
The one where you put in a boat and have another boat put on top of you, and you are sealed in with honey and milk and kept feeding honey and milk for months.
Or if you get, in ancient Greek, if you get accused of adultery, they put you in a giant brass ball and boil you to death.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah. No, I don't fancy that either.
The ways that can be brought back.
And stew would taste very nice. Oh yeah, Kate's talking about, yeah, that's another way. Totally forgot about that. The blood eagle that the Vikings do, that is dreadful. For those who don't know what a blood eagle is, they tie you to a post, they cut your back open, they pull your ribs apart, they throw your lungs over your shoulder, and if you scream at any point while that happens or cry out in pain, then you don't go to Valhalla. There you go. Sounds like a great way to go. That's all I've got to say.
Horse dragon is a nasty way.
Yeah, there's most ways are nasty ways, honey.
Horse way was a nasty way. Put right around your legs. The Egyptians used to do it brilliantly.
What's good about it?
Because they used to drag you off into the desert.
Do you believe punishments exist for people that have been bad in life, i.e. the punishment of Dionysus, the punishment of Atlas, like the old Greek ways? Do you think they exist for people that have been bad in life?
Yeah.
Because Atlas had to have a stone above his head, didn't he? And Dionysus had to run on a road that never ended.
Then there was the other. Oh, who was the other one? Whenever he leant down to drink, the waters would reside, and whenever he leant up for food, it'd just be out of reach. I can't remember his name.
Well, on that note, we're getting towards the end of the show. Now, we've got a couple of things coming up here on The Other Dimension. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday. What time is it, Lou?
I can't remember. It might be 7.
Right.
I'm going to put the ad up over the weekend anyway.
Yeah, we'll be.
I can't remember. I've got too much in my head at the moment. Leave me alone. I'm tired.
Brand new show starting on Wednesday. It's a trial show, so lots of support on that one from you guys. Everybody that's here tonight, I want you there on Wednesday supporting the new guys that are coming on. It's called The Witch's Closet. They'll be talking all things Wiccanry, and it's worth listening into. Trust me on that one. Sunday show, Ben. What we got planned for Sunday show?
I think we're doing the book, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the book as normal, hopefully.
Because we are at Hellfire Caves tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
Can you pronounce it?
Yeah. It's North Wickham.
It's in England.
Yeah. High Wycombe.
Oh, he's changed it. He was pronouncing it wrong all the time. It was just funny.
Okay, when I first read it with my dyslexic, whilst we're going to work down there with my boss, I called it High Willicombe.
I like that name better.
But it's got such a better ring to it, isn't it, really?
It is. It's much better.
So we're going to have some videos from the Hellfire Caves tomorrow?
We
Possibly
will try,
not.
but I'm likely to get into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, because it's organised, paid events. Well, other people have paid to go on it. We've just been invited down. Yeah, so we might not be allowed to do any videos, depending on what the organizer says.
Okay. Right,
So
so
you can see it, isn't it?
we've got the book. Back to the book. Wednesday around 7 when we'll put the advert up for that one. We'll be joined by Scarlet Witch in the Witch's Closet. Next Friday, we will be talking about aliens. I've got a few videos that I want to try and upload. I want to play to Ben and Lou, and we're going to see if we think they're real or not. If I can get around to doing it, because I've got to rip them off of TikTok and back on, so it takes a lot. So
I will also, just to make Damon a bit more happy as well, I'll also talk about what's been cracking off and the reason, well, part of the reason why I didn't give any predictions this year and refused to do them. I know people weren't happy about me not doing predictions this year because last year's all came true, but there was a reason I didn't predict stuff this year.
And they're not your predictions.
They're
It's
not
not
mine,
Ben having, you know,
I choose.
messages from above or anything. It's things that he's read predicting.
Shout out to Emmy's asking about Dante's Inferno. We're gonna be doing a show on that soon. I'm 3/4 of the way through the book for the 3rd time, still trying to get my head around it, so bear with us on that one. Yeah, so Friday show I'll be talking about aliens. Next Sunday we are joined by the one and the only Kate Frassi. Myself will be taking over on that Sunday, the Occult and Science show, where we'll be talking about the untimely deaths of celebrities and the 27 Club. We'll be talking about that.
Nice.
So there is a lot coming up over the next week or so on the Other Dimension, so keep it locked. I want to say thank you for Jeanette for joining us tonight. Also, massive thank you for doing all your shows that you've been doing on the Other Dimension. They've been absolutely amazing. And out with Lou, it's been really, really good. I enjoyed the candle one. That was there was something about that was really, really peaceful. I don't know why. It just made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Oh.
So don't forget, we have Lou and Jeanette going out a lot more, doing shows. So if you do want a show here on the Other Dimension Network,
We might be going out tonight. It depends on the weather.
Right,
So
Going for a walk
we'll
there.
go up there. If it's too windy, then we won't go live because all you're going to hear is the wind. But we might take some photos, pop them up. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes with this storm.
Oh, you got a storm? Oh, okay. So
Yes, we'll keep having high winds.
Yeah, it's not as bad here as it is further up the country, but being just in the middle, we're kind of catching part of it.
no, bloody hell.
There's
Jesus.
high winds and they're not coming from me.
Ben thinks it's funny.
So, guys, if you do want a show here, just contact myself, Lou, or Ben, or contact the show, and we'll get you set up. We've got loads of slots throughout the week, and we want to get a show on every single day of the week. So if you want that, but from us here in the studio, from myself, from Ben, Lou, and Jeanette, it's goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
And just remember, guys, if there is no other explanation, there is